Yo, America and the rest of the world, what's going on? Xander J. Hobson here, comedian, director, and producer of boxing documentaries, and troll to those who need trolling. This here is another episode of The Devil's Advocate, brought to you by the Brilliant Artist Group. So anyway, folks, before we get started, please subscribe, like this video, share it, and by all means, leave a comment in the comment section because I enjoy checking out the feedback from these videos that I make, as well as exchanging opinions and points of views with you all. The channel has been doing great with the shorts, but I do want to get back to some more long-form content. So anyway, I know there are a lot of you guys out there who saw the Jake Paul, Anthony Joshua sports entertainment celebrity boxing match. And I'm willing to bet there are a few more of you out there who also saw the Andrew Tate, Chase Gabor sports entertainment celebrity boxing match. And there's a lot of sports entertainment going on now, celebrity boxing matches, because this is what these events are. They are sports entertainment in the form of celebrity boxing that we're calling professional sanctioned boxing matches. Now, Jake Paul is considered a professional fighter. So, you have to give him that credit. I believe that Jake does have his professional boxing license. And when he fights, it is considered a professional boxing match. But again, me personally, I would consider it sports entertainment. A lot of people are saying that the Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua fight was real. I don't believe it. And the reason why I don't believe it, leading up until the 6th round, these two guys really weren't trying to hurt one another. And I've seen a lot of boxing matches over the years, and I can tell the difference between two guys who are in the ring trying to knock each other's block off.
Just get out of my way to the referee. A right hand by McMahon. Ben continues to be in dire trouble.
Body. Marvin Hagler only wants the body. He bangs Marvin. Oh, Hurst hit him with a right hand. Hurst hits him with an uppercut.
And two guys who are in the ring essentially sparring with one another.
Here he comes.
Ball one.
And these actually do count on there, even if they're getting through. Look at he's being tied up in 7 shots in a row.
Case in point, Terrence Bud Crawford versus Earl the True Spence. Hey, real fight. Terrence was in there trying to bring the hurt to Earl Spence, and he did. So much so, Earl Spence never returned to the ring. Okay, here's another one. Alexander Usyk versus Du Bois. I can't think of Du Bois' first name, but again, another real fight. Two guys in there trying to knock one another's blocks off. Okay, now, I'll give you some fights that were basically sparring matches. Okay, the most recent one, Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul. Okay, these two guys were in there messing around, throwing punches at one another, and at some point, Anthony Joshua decked Jake Paul, and they stopped the fight. Okay, that right there was a sparring match. And I'll give you another sparring match, and it might be controversial. Floyd Mayweather versus Oscar De La Hoya.
Tommy Kazmarek wrote the book. Watch the left hooks here.
Here he comes.
Ball one.
And these actually do count on there, even if they're getting through. Look at he's being tied up in 7 shots in a row. And you know what? This is what
sparring match. Okay, Shane Mosley versus Manny Pacquiao.
There's the feints again by Pacquiao.
Sparring match. In the sports entertainment wrestling world, they call throwing a wrestling match putting a guy over. Okay, for example, Bret Hart put Stone Cold Steve Austin over. I remember hearing Steve Austin talking about Bret Hart putting him over. But I said that to say this. If you want to ask me, and again, this is my opinion, and I'm entitled to it, Oscar De La Hoya and Shane Mosley, they put a lot of guys over, okay? Oscar definitely put Floyd over, in my opinion. And he definitely put Manny Pacquiao over. Now, people say, what do you mean? Manny beat the hell out of Oscar. Well, again, Oscar put the man over. I mean, think about it. Oscar was walking around, his fight weight was essentially 160 pounds. So you're telling me that Oscar De La Hoya, who was more of a big name than Manny Pacquiao, he's going to come down from middleweight to welterweight and fight at 144 pounds? Why would Oscar have to do that when he was the bigger name than Manny Pacquiao? Well, he done it because Oscar, he put Manny Pacquiao over. And I feel the same way about Shane Mosley. Shane Mosley and Oscar De La Hoya, these guys done a lot together. They fought the amateurs. They fought each other a couple of spectacular fights. I thought that Oscar won the second fight, but they gave it to Shane. But when it was all said and done, Oscar De La Hoya and Shane Mosley, these guys put a lot of guys over because I'm watching a fight with Shane Mosley and Manny Pacquiao. I feel like Shane definitely put Manny over. Shane put Canelo Alvarez over, and I think he put Miguel Cotto over. Again, these are my opinions, but hey, listen, I know boxing. I know when two guys are in there trying to hurt one another, and I know when guys are putting on a sparring session without a headgear. Now, when it comes to the current state of boxing and how watered down boxing is, let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to blame this on anyone, you can blame it on Vince McMahon. Yep, he's the guy. Vince McMahon is the fella you want to blame for the current state of boxing. Vince McMahon, through his genius, he has showed a lot of fighters how to get at a buck and make the most money possible for the least amount of effort. Yes, a lot of these fights you see, they are total unadulterated bullshit. Again, basically wrestling matches with boxing gloves on. And the reason why I blame Vince McMahon for this is because the great Floyd Mayweather, he went over there and hung out with Vince McMahon for a spell. And at some point during Floyd's tour of duty over in the WCW, he got the memo. And the memo that Floyd Mayweather got was, it pays to be the villain. Okay? So what happened then was, Floyd got in there, he tangled with the Big Show, and when he went back to boxing, Floyd was no longer pretty boy Floyd Mayweather. He was Floyd Money Mayweather. But do you know who Floyd Money Mayweather is a carbon copy of? The $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. And once Floyd understood that it's money in being the bad guy, Floyd turned heel in boxing and he started making all of this money. And Jake Paul, as a young kid, he's watching all of this stuff go on. Maybe Jake understood what was going on. Maybe he didn't understand what was going on. But at some point, Jake understood that, you know what? You have to brand yourself as the villain. Make people hate you. Make people want to see you get your guts stomped out. And that's what Jake started doing. Jake went out there and started branding himself as a villain. And guess what? Jake pretty much branded himself, in my opinion, after the Nature Boy Ric Flair. Woo! So once guys like Floyd Mayweather and Jake Paul understood how to make the most money humanly possible in the boxing arena, they turned boxing into sports entertainment. And basically, boxing, in my own humble opinion, has been going downhill ever since. Because even though we want the fighters to make money and we want our heroes to walk away from the sport in good health and wealthy and we can be proud of them, it's the fans that take a hit, because now there is so much money in boxing. Sadly, there isn't a whole lot of integrity left in boxing. Now, boxing never had a lot of integrity to begin with, but now boxing really lacks integrity. And like I said, if you want to blame anybody for the current state of boxing, the person that you can blame for that is Vince McMahon. Well, Vince McMahon Jr., because there was a Vince McMahon Sr., but at the end of the day, it's Vince's fault. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is what I was thinking about. And now that I thought about it and shared it with you all, I'm done with it. Bam!